Temporary waterway crossings are sometimes needed to keep access open and traffic moving when a permanent crossing is being built or repaired. Generally, temporary crossings are installed for 6 to 12 months, which can still be long enough to cause permanent damage to fish and fish habitat. The best option is to detour traffic to an existing nearby crossing point. However, if this is not available, a temporary crossing will be needed. Installation of a temporary crossing is likely to require an approval under the Fisheries Management Act. The approval process is important. It enables DPI Fisheries officers to assess the proposed design, construction techniques, and the potential damage to key fish habitat before it happens. If the proposal does not meet the DPI Fisheries policy and guidelines, officers may require changes to minimise impacts, use best practice erosion and sediment control techniques, and ensure fish have free passage to move up and downstream. A bridge is the best crossing option for fish passage and fish habitat. This is because fish passage within a waterway is critical for all aspects of their life cycle. Bridges also minimise disturbance within the waterway and can withstand rises in river flow. Many councils are now using reusable, prefabricated wooden or metal temporary bridges that provide a simple crossing solution and can be made from old bridges that have been replaced. Temporary bridges can sometimes be used in steep gullies, which avoids the need to import a large amount of materials into the waterway. This temporary bridge, used by Nambucca Shire Council, is made up of concrete units that are easy to transport, install, remove and store until it's next needed. In low-flow, shallow waterways with low banks, a temporary bed-level crossing may be a suitable option. Culverts are another option for a temporary crossing. However, compared to bridges, culvert structures have a high risk of being overtopped or outflanked by river rises or flooding, which can cause delays to construction work and impacts to fish habitat. When choosing a culvert crossing, it is important to install it at a relatively straight section of the waterway. Match the width and depth of the waterway by using the right number and size of culverts, and set the base of the culvert into the bed of the waterway to allow bed material and debris to move through and cover the base of the culvert. Culverts have the greatest risk of causing damage to the waterway, fish habitat and fish passage. In this example, loose earthen material has been used to backfill around the pipe culvert. There is a high likelihood that this structure will fail in a river rise and sediment will be washed downstream, impacting on fish habitat. This is an example of a poorly constructed culvert. This temporary crossing has just one pipe and the flow is too fast for fish. Crossings should use enough culverts to span the entire low-flow channel. Here the pipes have been installed too high above the bed level, creating a barrier to fish passage. In this example, the temporary pipe culvert has been constructed just right. There are enough pipes to avoid high water velocities, and the pipes are set at or below bed level to provide for fish passage, and geofabric has been used to separate the imported material from the waterway. The work sites should be rehabilitated and stabilised after construction. This includes removal of all imported material that formed the temporary crossing and the side track approaches, and where possible, battering the banks to match the profile of adjacent areas. DPI Fisheries recommends planting native species such as Lomandra along disturbed areas of both banks to remediate the site. If Lomandra plants were in the footprint of the works, they can be dug out, potted and cared for in a nursery waiting for rehabilitation works. Throughout the design and construction of temporary crossings, it is best to avoid, minimise and restore impacts to key fish habitats. Please consult with your local fisheries manager to discuss your proposed fish-friendly temporary crossing.